was thinking about airport security for no particular reason. You ever think about, like, everybody out here, this is such like a millennial bit. Everybody is like, oh, because of Richard Reid, the shoe bomber, we had to take our shoes off at the airplane, or at the airport, for like 20 fucking years, right? Because one dude tried to light his shoes on fire. I think we gotta turn it around. I think we gotta say, thank you, Richard Reid. Because imagine if he hid the bomb in his fucking ass. Things could have been so much worse, man. We're lucky that that dude hid it in his shoe. If he put that shit inside of his ass, it would be way more inhospitable to visit the airport. So much better, you mean? Well, I don't know. It depends on the CIA, or not CIA. It depends on the TSA agent you get, I guess. The urethra bomber. You saying the TSA makes all its money on WikiFeet? Well, I'm just happy that they're now freshly rejuvenated by a paycheck after, like, I don't know, 2 months of just immiserating travelers for the love of the game or whatever. Maybe if I die in a plane explosion, this bit is not going to age well. But I'll take those odds for now. Thoughts on the TSA scanner that shows your cock and balls? I don't mind because I only see it in Orlando, and I will show my cock and balls or any other part of me to get out of Florida 2% faster. So if it's a choice between going through the metal detector or showing my penis to the TSA agent, but it'll get me on the airplane 30 seconds faster, I'll show the penis and I'll throw in the nuts for free. I was tweaking out a little bit in the airport security line because we didn't get dragged into secondary, okay? But one of the bags that we had got taken off the fucking conveyor belt and thrown to the side to be ignored for like 15 minutes until someone went, hey, who's any terrorists in line, whose bag is this? And then it was our bag, and I was hanging out with our daughter. Well, Kate went up and did the bag thing. But they opened the bag, took everything out, and then said, here's your problem. At the bottom of the bag, you have an iPad. We've never seen one of these before, apparently. And then, I don't know, it was just some kind of flat device with wires on it on the metal detector. So we assumed naturally it had to be a bomb. So then after, and I forgot that this was a iPads out airport. That's my fault. It's an iPads out, shoes and belt on airport. In comparison to a lot of other airports, which, for example, might be like an iPads in, shoes off, belt on kind of airport, or maybe like an iPads out, belts off, but you can keep your shoes on sort of airport. They're all doing it a little bit differently these days. But one thing's for sure, if you take your iPad out at another airport, they're going to yell at you. It's cause for public humiliation. So what really blew my mind, though, is that after he pulled everything out of the bag and said, I guarantee that the problem is this iPad, he put the bag back through the scanner. And I was like, you already looked through the bag, man. What's the scanner gonna tell you? You've seen everything inside of it. I was freaking out a little bit, just like, it was like stunned. It's a double check? What are they checking for, man? The scanner is there so you can see through the bag. And he saw inside of the bag. You're right, could have been a second iPad in there. Bombs in the padding? I don't know. Like, listen, I'm not a cultural critic. I'm just a silly guy on Twitch. It seems crazy to me that, like, airport security is there and we're like, they're protecting us from like a 9/11 too, like every day. Then we lost the battle of the airports, man. Aren't they just gonna go someplace else? I feel like now, like the idea that like Al-Qaeda would be like probing airport security, trying to find like another way to, oh, and if this airport doesn't really scan it that well, so if we use, or maybe if we make it out of like plastic or so, like wouldn't they just do that? Why? I mean, there's times where I'm like, I really hope that there's no bombs in airport security, because like they might protect us from it going off on the airplane, but that shit might just blow up right here. And God help us if they ever do a terrorist attack in the security line, because then they're going to be strip searching us before we even get inside of the arrivals terminal, man. They did have to They escorted a guy to secondary. He tried to bring a blender on the airplane. I get it, like there's some sharp, like metal parts in a blender, but I'm like, just try it. Like, I know this is not how it's gonna work, but just think for a second, man, about like, how is this guy gonna take over the plane with the blender? Dude, that shit has like a AC outlet, man. Or what are we using AC or DC? Australians don't answer. I know you use both. I guess they do have power outlets. Bro could have gotten his Vitamix on the airplane. You're not. To be fair, I don't really want the dude taking a blender in his carry-on, because like you're absolutely right. If they turn out the lights and I finally start to get the worst sleep of my life, and then I hear like, I'm gonna freak out, man. I was actually on one of our flights. I was losing it. It's one of those things that like makes you lose faith in humanity a little bit, but you don't do anything about it. Which is also kind of owns, because like you don't want to get like, you know, stabbed or shot or whatever. I felt bad because like on one of the flights, me and my wife, we were like A and C in a row. And then instead of giving our daughter B, for some reason, they put her a row behind us in A. So we said, that's no problem, because we can problem solve. We have an aisle seat and a window seat, and we want to trade another window seat for a middle. Everybody on earth would take this trade. I was even rehearsing the line like in my head. I was like when we sat all together, and then when the lone traveler came up to us, I was like, we were hoping we would like to trade. You would like to trade with us. How about you give us your middle seat? Like at first his face would have fallen. Oh, nobody ever wants to take a worse seat and give me a better one. And I'd be like, that's where you're wrong, buddy. You know your window seat or your aisle seat? I got it wrong 2 times. You know your middle seat? We're about to turn that bitch into a window. Did I say window 7 times? I might be dead. Anyway, brain dead, that is. That isn't really how it went down. He went, oh, sure, that's okay. And I said, thank you. And then the flight attendant acted like that guy was the hero. The flight attendant went, thank you, sir. That's very nice of you. And I was like, well, really, if you want to get technical, it's really nice of me, because I just traded a window seat for a middle. He didn't really do anything. He inherited a better seat and gave me a worse one. So those should go, that credit should go to me. But then, who could have possibly predicted? The guy traded seats, got in the row behind us in the window seat, and then the dude who took the middle seat next to him was a total scumbag. He was listening to music the whole flight with no headphones, guy. It was crazy. I thought they only existed on buses and were like locked out of getting on airplanes. But no, he listened to music from his phone speaker for the whole flight. And during like the pre-takeoff ritual where they tell you how to survive the plane crash, the flight attendants came around and they were like, who's playing that music? I can't tell who's playing that music. And the dude didn't go, hee 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 hee. You'll never know. He went, oh, my bad. And then he turned it down and then he turned it back up when she left. Like he's just a complete erosion of the social contract. Someone really should have spoken up and asked him to turn it off. But I had noise-canceling headphones, and so did everyone in my party, so it shouldn't have been me. Did you apologize to the switcher? No, but I did feel bad for him a little bit. Not too bad, because he got glazed by the flight attendants, but that's what you get, buddy. And to be fair, I mean, like, I was still in the AOE. If anything, he should apologize to me. He was in the most convenient position to say something. Airline's fault, not yours. There should be, like, a snitch button you can press on the airplane and just silently report breaches of etiquette to the staff. At least, I mean, I would have preferred the blender guy, because at least the blender guy might have like some margarita mix or something. This guy was just like, I couldn't really tell what music it was, so I don't think he could really tell what music it was. Maybe he was just so scared he needed to listen to, it was almost like a white noise generator for a baby or something like that. I don't know. People without overheads should be able to leave first, and I would die on that hill. Well, here's the thing, okay? No plan survives contact with the enemy. We used to live in a world where people with connections would get off the airplane first. Now, I didn't live in the world for very long, but definitely I'm old enough that I've been on some flights where people with connections have gotten off first, myself included. Then I think they just gave up at some point because I don't know, we can't have nice things. Why are you booking such a tight connection? I mean, you know that like most people aren't booking themselves with an insanely tight connection, right? Usually like you book yourself with like a 2-hour connection, and then all of a sudden the airline is like, surprise, we rebooked you with like a 45-minute connection, and your departing airport sent us out like half an hour late, man. Like nah, nephew, you're blaming the individual for systemic problems. And one of the pilots could have had 3 bottles of tequila and a few grams of cocaine the night before the flight, and then slept for 4.5 hours after partying with the flight attendant. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, this is air traffic control. Can you turn that bitch upside down? Can you turn hey, do a flip. Say it? Say what? I was drunk. Like that? I'm drunk right now. I said, God help me. I think it's kind of getting better. I know you're probably disagreeing. I think it's getting better. It is, Librarian said it is. I'll be honest, I'm abusing, it's a tragedy of the commons situation. I'm abusing the pre-boarding procedure as well. When we travel now, we don't check our bags. And the reason I don't check our bags, I don't want to fucking wait at the carousel. We have bags that are like just borderline small enough to count as carry-on. And then they say anybody with car seats and strollers, you can get on after the people in like zone 2 or zone 1. We get on, we get to our seats, and we pack the fucking overhead fully. Sometimes our 3 seats take like, I don't know, 75% of one overhead. It's great, man. It's awesome. Now, one day my kid's not gonna have a stroller, and that's when I'm gonna try to close the loophole, but we usually have nothing in the overhead. Okay. Oh, it must be nice to be rich and pay for checked bags. See, I've been on the internet for a long time. I know how to turn it around on you. I mean, some of us are trying to fly as cheaply as possible, so we have to take everything on carry-on because it's $50 a bag or something like that to check them these days. Keep doing this so I can keep taking advantage of the free checked bag. But the checked bag is not an advantage. Like, I'm happy for you. I think we should exist in an equilibrium together. But like, the checked bag is not a privilege. Free is what the checked bag should cost, because it's a punishment to have to wait at the carousel for your bag. Everyone's agreeing with me, so I have nothing to spin on. You're more American than most Americans. I don't know about that. Guy at the Salt Lake City airport, when he found out I was Canadian, he asked me if I ever seen South Park, where the heads don't attach to the necks, they attach like at the mouth instead. And I was like, yeah, I've seen it. That's kind of a crazy thing to say to someone when you find out where they're from, though, as like the first thing. I do also have to say, and this is not an anti-American bit, but it's really funny, okay? There were 2, because we were waiting to get on the airplane. We were sitting at the gate. There was an American group, like friends, that were across the gate from us. And they were talking about how they were going to Vancouver to get on a cruise, right? Which is common because we have a cruise terminal. Because unlike Utah, we're adjacent to the ocean. And we have, I know you got mountains too. I've seen them, we have them as well. But regardless, they were talking about how like they're excited for their cruise. Oh, it's fun to go to Canada. They didn't say anything wrong, okay? But where it gets funnier is that when you arrive in Vancouver, there is a... You're gonna think that I'm making this up, but I swear. They were like in front of us when we left into the arrivals part of the airport. And there's a sign that says all departures, and it has a Canada and a US flag on it. And they were arguing about whether they have to go there. And I could hear parts of the argument, and they're like, well, we're getting on a cruise. So I think like a cruise is a departure, so I think we have to go there. And then the other dude was really trying to make his case that was like, I think it's just if you're getting on an airplane that you have to go through that. And then they were like, it says all departures. Like, what does all mean to you? And then in a way, in a Don Norman style way, I was like, I actually see their point, but I was laughing. I was like, I've been here before. You don't have to go up there. I'm departing too. I'm leaving the airport to go to my house. Should I go up there? Probably. I hear the rice cooker going upstairs. We probably got time to play some Bandle. Rice cooking deserves a tasty rice. Do, 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 do. You know what I'm talking about? REM poster? The washed rice in the basin, heating up so slow. Cook it with pressure so the water goes. Every molecule soaks into a grain of rice, and it gets so much softer. Rice cooking. Cooking up that rice. Dinner's coming soon. That song is supposed to be Night Swimming by REM, but with the lyrics changed to be about rice cooking. Why is your REM also Belle and Sebastian? We should be so lucky. That'd be like, Judy cooked the saddest rice. Cooked it in a pot when she was young. She couldn't afford a rice cooker. She had to cook it on the stove for once. Judy never ate her rice except when she was eating. Sorry.